EGM Network.
Hey, we're back again. We're relentless. Podcast number 14. We're marching down. Jesse, I kind of think we're getting into the real meat of things that are very important to all Americans, whether you're got an R, a D, or an I, and not associated type of political voter.
Yeah.
It's Social Security. Basically, it's going to get a big hit in 2032. All your benefits, future benefits, are going to be cut by 2023 unless the American voters do something about it, because the American politicians will not do anything about it. And once again, it's Sir Paladin, and we sell tax certificates in a third party. We take the risk, and we sell them, and you take the risk. Evergreen Media are doing a super job with everything with me. They're absolutely amazing.
Thanks, Bill.
And I never leave home without my American Express, and I don't do a podcast without Jesse, and I call him Jesse James. Jesse. So we're on podcast 14. Being a big Boston Red Sox fan, you are, Jesse.
Yeah.
Who wore 14?
Well, it wasn't Pete Rose. I
No,
don't know. He didn't play for them.
No. It was Ike the Lock.
Ike the Lock.
You know what Ike the Lock position he played?
It sounds like a closing pitcher. I don't know.
It was a pitcher, though. You're right.
Okay.
No, he was a starter.
Okay.
And he was pretty damn good. And I remember him in the 50s. I actually remembered the name when I looked them up. So
All right, great.
I couldn't remember the number, but I can remember the name anyway.
Right.
So
looking back, he wore 14.
That's right.
All right.
He wore 14. Hey, look, I dig for facts, and I try to put them out as truth. So, and we've had some comments, and I really appreciate your comments. So keep commenting. I can learn from you, and maybe you can learn from me. So that's the way I look at it. And once again, as Americans, we all deserve better. And anybody that doesn't believe in global warming, you got to tune into the podcast and take a look at the NASA map that shows what's going on, right,
That's right. There's this NASA map. Yeah, it starts in the 1800s, goes all the way up to modern times. And as you can see, almost every piece of land on Earth is 2 degrees Celsius, that's 3 degrees Fahrenheit, above normal, above where it should be historically. So global warming, climate change, whatever you call it, there's something going on there, and there's the evidence.
So my comment is, it's not a hoax.
Mm-hmm.
And if you believe it's a hoax, I guess you have the privilege to live in America. You can believe anything you want, right?
There you go.
Once again, this podcast should affect every American, because we're looking at Social Security and basically the potential nightmare that's coming, in 2032. Back in the 50s, we had approximately 16 people working for everyone collecting Social Security. Today, and I'm overstating this number, not understating it. It's a 3-to-1, but it's actually like 2.4 or something like that. But it's 3-to-1, 3 workers to every one person drawing out Social Security. It's doomed unless we do something about it. So once again, the 23% cut. So we're going to move on to. Jesse's going to. This is about stock buybacks, right?
Yeah, stock buybacks and Social Security. First,
Yep.
I want to say Social Security includes Medicare and Medicaid. Those fall under the branch of Social Security. So that's what we're talking about today. And in this podcast, it's also important to understand that when we use the term investor to describe the entity that owns the stock, you got to think of the investor as a multi-billion dollar hedge fund, or a multi-billion dollar mutual fund, or a multi-billion dollar ETF exchange traded fund. We're talking big money.
Absolutely. Jesse's absolutely right about that. We are basically loaded with billionaires in this country, right? Approaching 2,000 billionaires. Mm-hmm. And Leon Musk is going to do an IPO, and he's going to be a trillionaire after he does the IPO.
Yeah, he says he wants to be the first 10 trillionaire.
Yeah, he's going to be a trillionaire, number one, richest guy in the world. And, I don't begrudge him that, So he can make all the money he wants. Nobody feels bad about this. But the deal is, with these people, they got to contribute to Social Security. They got all the money.
Yeah.
We get 3-to-1 working ratio. Social Security's dead. Politicians don't want to see it. They'll wait till there's a crisis, right, Jess?
That's right. That's right.
So, Jess, talk to me about the what are stock buybacks?
Yeah, what are stock buybacks, Bill?
Yeah, okay. Well, look, what a stock buy, billion-dollar corporations, right?
Yeah.
Exercise their excess cash, what they got in the drawer, and all the cash in their company, and they buy back stock.
Sounds harmless enough.
Yeah, it does, right?
Yeah.
So we have a list of names here, Jess.
Yeah, so we've got a list of names here. We got names like Apple, $100 billion 2025 announced buyback value. Alphabet, that company, $70 billion. NVIDIA, $60 billion announced buyback value. JP Morgan Chase, $50 billion. Goldman Sachs, $40 billion. Wells Fargo, $40 billion. Bank of America, $40 billion. It goes on. Visa, Citigroup, Brookings Holding, Morgan Stanley, $20 and $30 billion. So that's a total of $450 billion tied up in just 11 companies' buyback stocks.
But for those listening on the radio, I just want you to know, tune into the podcast. We have a very nice chart up here that'll show you.
Yeah.
We're $450 billion in 1 year. That's just 1 year.
1 year.
Okay? On 11 companies, the big boys out there, right? $450 billion, and we don't have money for Social Security. I can't figure out why we don't have it, Yeah, some of these companies, like, let me see, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, they control billions of dollars for super rich entities. I mean, that's their business, right? Fidelity Investments, that's their business. They get these big investors, billions of dollars, they're managing for them in their funds that they take care of in the wealth management programs, I guess you call it. So when these companies win here, we're losing because we're losing, and I may not make 2032, Jess, the odds are against me actually, but I'm going to try. And, so this 23% cut in Social Security may not even impact me. But if you're a hardworking American right now and you're contributing 100% to your Social Security program, guess what, pal? It's going to impact you, right, Jess?
That's right. Yeah, you've been working all your lives paying into this.
That's right.
And now they're just going to take it away from you.
Yep.
It's not right.
No,
it's not right, Bill.
No. And we have somebody in Congress that recognizes this, don't we, Jess?
At least somebody does here in Congress.
What if you're a billionaire like Trump or Musk? Your Social Security tax would be effectively, on my understanding,
Very, very much smaller.
0.0002.
Yes.
That just doesn't make sense to me. And when the richest people in the country have the smallest effective tax rate, that does not seem to me like a very fair system, especially when we are now 6 years away from retired workers facing this 24% cut in their Social Security benefits.
Well, we need to get our Congress to modify the contribution system to Social Security. Because the current one's doomed to fail, and everybody knows it. There's no surprise here. And there's trillions of dollars floating around out here.
Yeah.
We're just looking at buybacks. Wait till we get IPOs and we get a whole bunch of different other types of things that I have coming planned up that I haven't really defined yet. But I'm digging into it, okay, just so you know where the money is. It's time for the billionaire corporations to contribute to Social Security.
Yeah, so
if they contribute to Social Security, Jess, I think they'll preserve it forever.
Yeah, I think so. With all these trillions of dollars moving around, I mean, it would help. It would help absolutely.
Yes, I have a question. You contribute to Social Security?
I do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I do.
So how do you like making your 100% contribution this year, knowing in 2032, when in the future when you get benefits, they're going to cut you down by 23%?
It's not right, Bill.
And that's just the beginning.
Yeah. And meanwhile, these billionaires skate. They don't have to pay any taxes. So
that's right.
Yeah. So why does this happen, Bill? Why do companies buy back their own stock?
Well, it's a simple economic thing. It's called like supply and demand. If they take stock off the market, there's less for the general public and billionaire organizations like hedge funds and Fidelities and Goldman Sachs companies to buy.
Okay.
So that tends to drive up the price. So you get increased market demand, will increase the price. And so how do you increase market demand? You pull back stuff off the market. It's like the price of gas, you know? Even though we got plenty of oil in this country, has the price of gas go up?
Right, okay.
Well, all that stuff's being tied up in the Hormuz Strait.
Strait of Hormuz, yeah.
Yeah, that's a Strait of Hormuz Strait. It's all being tied up, right? So we have a lack of oil and gas coming through, and so therefore the price is going up. And
Okay.
it may keep going up for a long time. Who knows, right?
Yeah, and so that works the same way in stocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
They take away the supply, and then
Take away the supply.
the demand is going to rise.
And there's a term for that. They're returning value to their shareholders.
Oh, okay.
Of course, they return value to shareholders, and guess what, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
The hardworking Americans, we lose.
Right.
Even if you own a mutual fund that's participating in that, I mean, you don't have billions of dollars tied up, hundreds of millions in these. When they return $2 or $3 and hundreds of millions of dollars, I mean, that's a lot of cash, right?
Yeah.
So in essence, we need a 5% fee on these transactions. When they're buying this back and they got all these billions of dollars, 5% goes into the Social Security lot box, and that will help Social Security last forever. So if you're a young person out there driving a pickup, working your butt off, think about it. We got to make it last forever for you. Because I'm already collecting it, so
Right.
you're out of luck.
Right. So what are the tax implications for these stock buybacks for investors?
Buybacks reduce the number of shares available to the market.
Okay.
This in turn increases the stock price. Supply and demand, basic economics, right?
Yeah.
Billionaire entities like mutual funds, ETFs, hedge funds, $1 billion shares a participating stock, right? They own millions of these shares. So you can look them up on the internet. Some of these companies own 1 million, 2 million shares of a particular company. And when they buy back the stock, supply and demand, the price goes up. Mm-hmm. Their wealth is increased. No taxes are paid on this event. It's a tax-free event for them. So they really like it, you know? And that's why we need to make a fee for 5%. Okay, they need to share the wealth with the American people. Okay, it's a handful of companies and people, right? 10,000 maybe, and that's probably an overstatement between all the billionaires and all the S&P 500 companies or whatever. The big corporations with tons of money. They're killing us, and guess what? They don't contribute anything to Social Security when they do these transactions. So that's the way it is, Jess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I imagine there's implications regarding taxes for these stock buyback investors.
Yeah, there are. The stock buyback, obviously tax-free.
Yeah.
Company of the people that invest in their company, they win. Hardworking Americans lose. Just pretty simple, right, Jess?
Yeah. So the company wins by these buybacks because their stock prices rise.
Yeah.
Okay. How does that benefit these investors?
Well, it benefits the investors because they own the stock, and and a lot of these, like the presidents of these big corporations, the chairman of the boards, they get compensated in stock.
Right.
They're not making like us. They're not making dollars. They're making stock. So if stock rises up dramatically, they make a ton of money. And if they started the company like Musk and they get a low valuation in their stock, I mean, they make a killing, and there's a whole ways to get rid of their stock and get bigger advantages than by making gifts, which we're going to get to in future broadcasts and explain that. Okay, moving on, Jess?
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about the tax implications. Can a stock buyback be seen as a negative signal about the company's growth prospects?
Yeah, well, it can be interpreted that way. The company could be looking. They're concerned about investing it. They kind of status quo. They kind of like the way it is. The big negative part is, company's not expanding. They're not growing. They're not creating jobs. Okay, and they're just holding on to it, trying to make the board of directors and the president's company very, very rich. So that's how it works. Drive the price up and sit on your hands, and you can make a ton of money.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to take your quick break here, Jeff?
That sounds good. Yeah, let's take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
This is Wake Up America with Bill Crafton, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Welcome to Riverside Theater's Comedy Zone, where the comedy is wild, untamed, and downright hilarious. Hit the zone this Friday and Saturday night at 6:30 and 8:30 for the Treasure Coast Best Live Stand-Up Comedy Show, featuring nationally recognized comedians with cabaret-style seating and food and drink table service. Buy tickets at riversidetheater.com and get ready for a night of non-stop laughs.
Hi, I'm Ryan, owner of Treasure Coast Tree and Land Services. When it comes to your property, there's a difference between some guy with a chainsaw and a certified arborist. Don't take chances with your property. Make sure your tree company is certified, licensed, and insured. Call the professionals, Treasure Coast Tree and Land Services. If you're in the IRC, call Treasure Coast Trees.
Healthy retirement starts at Treasure Coast Community Health. Short waits, easy scheduling, on-site services, wellness visits, chronic care management, and same-day sick visits. Call 772-257-8224 or visit tcchinc.org.
Evergreen Media is your go-to for podcasting. Business owners, boost your brand by educating clients with your own show. Just show up. We handle everything else. Get your custom video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and more. Start today at egreenmedia.com.
Hey, welcome back to Wake Up America with Bill Crafton. I'm Jesse. That's Bill. Yeah. And we're talking about Social Security. Yeah. Social Security and stock buybacks. This is a topic that I'm not too familiar with, but yeah. Bill, you know more about this than I do.
Not much.
Okay. But you could tell us how stock buybacks compare to dividends in terms of returning value to shareholders.
Okay, well, dividends for a guy like me and you, we can rely on that. If you're retired, getting a dividend check, it helps out when you're retired. It helps Social Security. On the other hand, if you're a mega investor, a hedge fund manager, you're not really interested in dividends. You're interested in growth. And what does growth mean? The price of the shares you own goes up.
Okay.
That's what you're interested in. So, like I say, investors like us, we're interested in, and we pay tax on the dividends. Now, the big guys, they usually prefer buybacks over dividends. No taxes are paid to the buyback process, which we've already discussed. There's a strong potential that the price is going to go up, which makes them very, very happy. And, because they own so many shares, they get a big voting part in keeping the board of directors and the president and the company intact. They have a lot of influence over them. If the companies were to pay a dividend, paying dividends creates a problem for the big guys. You know what that problem is, Jesse?
What's that?
They have to pay taxes.
Yeah, taxes, yeah. Big guys don't like paying taxes.
Big guys don't like paying taxes, man. They like right for nothing, It's really good. For the big investors, being taxed is a dirty word, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So the bottom line, Bill, what is the bottom line with stock buybacks?
Okay. Hey, listen, with stock buybacks, the stockholders' wealth is increased. And once again, we're talking about the mega companies that got tons and tons and tons of stock out there. No taxes are paid on it. Not a bad idea. When they buy and sell stock, these companies, right? They sell something at a loss, and they have another stock at an increase. They sell it so it nets to zero. So they pay no taxes on it. They manage their profits and losses so they net down to zero, so they don't have to pay any taxes. It's really a good strategy, But unfortunately, for guys like me, it doesn't do us a darn good thing, right?
Right.
In terms of securing our future, so we can live somewhat of a quality of life from day to day. No new jobs are created. That's a problem.
Right.
Buy stock back.
Yeah, they're not using that money to invest in their themselves, their product, their research, their jobs.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing. Yeah, just make money for the big entities. The mutual funds companies and the hedge fund companies. They contribute. This contributes nothing to our Social Security system. There are trillions of dollars involved in the buybacks. Trillions of dollars, not a billion, Not a million, but trillions. That's 1,000 billion, right, Jess? You're the math guy here, right? You understand that, right?
That's right.
Am I right? 1,000 billion?
Yeah.
1,000 billion. That's a lot of billions, you know?
Yeah. That's a lot.
Hey, the buyback total in 1 year from April 25 to April this year. What do you think that number was, Jess?
I don't know.
$1.4 trillion.
Ooh. A lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of
right?
money in buybacks.
A lot of money in buyback, right? And
Yeah.
all those stocks. You see the stock market going up. I wonder why, you know?
Yeah.
And how many companies do you think participated in those buybacks? We showed 11 to start off with, Jess.
Yeah,
Remember
11 at 450 billion.
Yeah,
So,
1.4 trillion.
Yeah, right. So at that math, I'm guessing 25.
5,000 companies participate in this.
Oh.
It's really a good game to get in, you know?
Yeah.
Stock's up. We got cash. We're making money. What do we do to care? Let's buy back stock and get the stock up higher. It is really a great process that these guys got. And once again, when they do that, Jesse, you and I, we lose, right?
Right.
And that buyback number, when I did the math on that, Jesse, it averages about 20 a week.
Okay.
Okay. No, wait a minute. Was that 20 a week? Buyback 20 per day. 20 per
20 a
day. I
day.
was right. Yeah, 20 per day. Yeah, basically, 100 a week on the buyback. So
what do we do?
it's time for the billionaire dollar corporations to contribute to preserving Social Security forever. Not to kick the can down the road, but we need to set up a structure that will last forever. And there's tons of money sloshing around out there. It's unbelievable how much cash is floating around out there that doesn't hit the Social Security system at all, or the tax system. And I don't want it to hit the tax system, to be perfectly honest. I want it to go to Social Security. And as far as I'm concerned, those big corporations, if they donate that money to Social Security, so to speak, they can write it off. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's got to get into Social Security, and so they can get a write-off off it. It's not a bad deal, right?
Absolutely.
They can save some money on that.
Yeah.
You know?
And helps out those in the working people in this country.
That's right. Help the hardworking people in this country is the bottom line.
Yeah.
And that fee on this stuff should be 5%. So I don't know what 5%, I didn't figure it out, just what 5% of 1.4 trillion, but it would give the kick up to the Social Security system, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would think
And
so.
this is just one entity. We're not looking at IPOs and anything else, but just one entity. We can make this Social Security hum, okay? Be American for people when they get old, great place to live, okay? They can live quality life, okay? Based on the super rich corporations in America.
Yeah.
So it will ensure everybody, if you're working, it'll show you there'll be something there for your retirement when you retire. It's not going to pay for your entire retirement, but basically it should assist it. It's getting time for the American people to stop getting exploited by these billionaires. Remember, we are getting cut 23% to Social Security benefits in 2032. And this is a little off to the side, Jesse, but I think it's worth mentioning anyway. Everybody remember the ballroom that got torn down? The one that was going to be built for nothing?
Yeah.
Everybody remember that? No, it's not going to cost nothing. Oh, I'm going to pay for everything. All my friends are going to donate. Well, this week, guess what happened? They're allocating $1 billion of your tax money, okay, to pay for the Trump ballroom that he wants to build. That's supposed to cost us nothing.
Right.
So I don't know. It's hard to start to believe the president when he says something. Next thing you know, it's like a bait and switch kind of game here. Oh yeah, this is great. Okay, well he's going to pay for it. No big deal. The other thing I want to mention, I'm still waiting 9 years ago, Jesse. I'm still waiting for the release of the tax returns.
Oh, yeah, the tax returns. Good luck with that.
Remember, he's going to the audit. This could be the longest audit in history, but now that he controls the IRS, it should be okay.
Yeah.
And Donald J. Trump, I do agree with them with one thing, Jesse.
What's that?
The system is rigged. And that's all I have to say about Social Security, but we'll have more next week, folks.
We will.
Stay tuned.
All right. We'll see you next week, 1 o'clock Friday. That's when we tape
10
on
o'clock,
YouTube.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, we're going to be...
Jesse, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable.
Show, yeah. All right. This radio show is Saturdays at 2 p.m. on 107.9 FM, 1370 AM here in Vero Beach, Florida. Follow us on YouTube, Wake Up America with Bill Crafton. All right, until next time, I'm Jesse. That's Bill. Wake up, America.
Great job, Jesse.